let's just get into our main topic. And our main topic today is our favorite female anime characters. Last week, I did talk about girl-based animes, and animes where the girls are the main focus or the main characters of it. And I thought it'd be pretty interesting to go through and list off some of my favorite ones. Uh, honestly, it took me literally forever to do this, not to make for not it literally took me like a day to make the list, and even then there were so many characters that I wanted to add it. I literally had to add honorable mentions at the end, and even then there are still characters that I couldn't even fit all of them on. So like I said, if there are some that maybe I have not said that, so your favorite, definitely like posting on like Twitter and Facebook and let me know what some of your favorite female anime characters are. But as let's just get into it. So the first one that just came into my mind as soon as I said it was Urza Scarlet from Fairy Tail. Just some tidbits about her. She is one of the most powerful wizards in the Fairy Tail Guild, maybe even like in the entire like fairy tale universe. She is an S class mage, one of the top three behind, like Loxus, Gildarts, yeah, and Mara Jane. Her magic is the Weep the Night, which changes her armor into different armors depending on which situation she needs it. If she's fighting underwater, she'll change into her Sea Empress armor. She has a Flame Empress armor, and as the series goes on, she gets more and more powerful armors. But her most like I forget what it's exactly called, but the one where she's basically like she has no armor on and she has the two katanas is like her most powerful one. That basically like increases her, it like lowers her defense but increases her offense, and it's so cool. Of course, she also uses her sword magic, so she's also to use swords with different abilities like fire magic and stuff like that. Um, Her nickname is the Queen of the Fairies or Titania, depending on who talks about it. I forgot what episode it was where she is not when she's first introduced, but when she gets joins into the journey with Natsu, Gray, and Lucy, and they end up finding a bunch of bandits. And at first they attack her, except for one guy who realizes who she is, and it's like, oh my god, it's her, the Queen of the Fairies, Titania, and so amazing. And later on, for I guess little spoilers for anyone who has not watched the or finished the Fairy Tale, the new one that came out a while ago, I finished it up. She did end up becoming the seventh master of Fairy Tale for a little bit while Makarov was still away after the whole year of them being apart. When they get back together, she did end up becoming the master, and I think she still kind of is technically the master, quote unquote. So is the fact that she's just so cool. She's strong, she's powerful, but she, of course, she has her moments where she is weak and vulnerable, and then relies on her friends like Natsu, Gray, Lucy, Wendy, and everyone else in the Fairy Tale Guild. But Urza is by far one of the most powerful wizards there. Even like the main, well, main character, I would say people like this. They kind of describe it as Lucy being the main character, but in my opinion, I think the whole guild is really the main character. Because it follows the guild per se, and I love it. I love Fairy Tale, and I just love Urza. Anyone who has not seen Fairy Tale, you at least have heard of Urza. You know what she's capable of. There's tons of videos out there, talking about her skill set and how she's the most powerful mage, and the land, and it's so cool. I love Urza. um Next, no surprise to maybe anyone. Next is Asuna Yuki from Sword Art Online. Her nickname for when she was in iCry was the Lightning Flash. That's because of her sword skills and her ability to move so fast in battle. In the 2 years that they were all trapped, in the 2 years she was trapped in Sword Art Online, she ended up becoming second in command of the most powerful guild out there, the Knights of the Blood Oath, making her the vice commander. That just really shows her skill sets from starting off as a beginner and not really knowing most about virtual games and whatnot, end up growing and becoming the second in command of the most powerful guild while stuck in SAO, which just really just shows her skills. In ALO, she earned the nickname the Berserk Healer. Uh, I kind of really, I mean, I get it in a way. It's because she later on when she gets into LLO, she kind of takes like a backseat and heals, but she will come out and fight if she has to and if it seems necessary. Also in the World of Underworld arc that's going on now, she is seen as the goddess of creation Stacia. We know her using uh the goddess account, and everyone kind of just sees her as goddess Stacia, and then her skills and abilities kind of help them think she really is the goddess of creation. um Also, I put she's an amazing cook and a rapier user. Like I said, her rapier skills is what gave her like the nickname the Lightning Flash, and the fact that she's really good at cooking in and out of virtual virtual reality. And also she is considered equal to the main character and her boyfriend Kirito while in their time in ICRAT fighting on the front lines to create a game. So like her reputation and her skills are just as good and equal to that of our main character Kirito. So that's why I love Asuna. She's my favorite character of Sword Art Online, and I really love her. And speaking of which, her episode is supposed to be coming out. I thought it was gonna come out this week, but on Adult Swim they're doing like this with that for that new Wonder Woman movie coming out, doing like a Justice League and Wonder Woman like marathon. So the next episode of Sword Art Online won't be coming out till the next Saturday. And honestly, I recommend everyone go watch that because that's a really huge, like, Asuna moment in that. I'm watching it when it came out in the sub, and even now, sometimes I go back and I just rewatch it because that's like basically one of like the best Asuna moments in Sword Art, in my opinion. So, next person I want to talk about is Rin Tosaka from the Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works route. No surprise over in there. I've talked many times how I'm a huge Rin Tosaka fan. As I said, she is the main heroine of the Unlimited Blade Works route of the visual novel. She is the future head of the Tosaka family. She is a very powerful mage who's able to use all basic elements. Most mages can only use like maybe two, maybe three if they're lucky. She's able to use all five. She is the most popular girl in school, having like all people admire her, kind of seeing her like she's like this rich princess. I mean, I guess in a way, she just come from a very prestige family, and they don't know she's a mage, but just the name alone is like everyone knows of the Tosaka family. I guess a little. I mean, not really spoilers. I mean, at this point, but in the Unlimited Blade Wars route, she was the master of Archer, and later on ended up forming a contract with Saber. So she did end up at one point becoming masters of two servants, which was pretty cool. Studies later on in her route, studies at the Clock Tower, and works to get rid of the Holy Grail War with Waver or Emelone II, so that more Grail Wolves don't come in now, and most people don't have to go through what she went through in the Grail War. And she is a very skilled fighter even without magic, because when you see her having basically like a round two with Castor, she catches Castor off guard by actually fighting, hand to hand, and she says, well, magic is good and all, but nowadays most mages know how to fight with their fists when the time comes, because since most mages or most families kind of rely on their magic, she learned that you also have to sometimes magic is enough, and you can also do that to catch your enemy off guard, which I thought was pretty amazing. So I like I said, out of the three Fate girls, Rin is my favorite, with Saber being a close second. And like I said, I don't hate Sakura. If anything, and I think that's basically like her character. You feel sorry for her because of everything that's going on. Speaking of which, I can't wait for the Heaven's Field movie to come out in dub so I can watch it. I just can't wait. I really want to see it so bad. I heard it's very, very good. Um, Sorry about that. Next person, and I kind of traded because I put two people from Sword Art Online, but come on, you can't talk about Asuna and you can't and not bring up Yuki from Sword Art Online. Yuki is the most powerful swordsman in ALO, even better than Kirito, because you see they have duels and the Mother Rosario arc, and she defeats him both times. So that just shows her skill set that she was even more powerful than our main protagonist. Her nickname was Second. I think they call it. I think it was like Ultimate Sword or Absolute Sword, which it definitely goes with her name, like go how her fighting ability because she's so strong. I mean, it took people forever for them to even like when her match with Asuna, even though Asuna didn't win at the end, she did end up pushing Yuki to going like all out, and no one else was able to do that, not even Kirito, which was pretty amazing. She is the leader of the Sleeping Knights, and of course is the quote unquote like you could say like second master of the 11 hit combo that she later passes on to Asuna, which is the Mother Rosario. And even after everything that happened, she does inspire Asuna and all the other characters after the whole interaction in the Mother Rosario arc, helping everyone grow and keep pushing forward despite what goes on. I just love Yuki. I go back and I rewatch the Mother Rosario arc so many times because her character is just that amazing. Um, when I also play the Sword Art Online Rising Steel game, and anytime there was like there's only one, like there's four Yukis in the game, and I have three of them. I just missed out on one of them, but I definitely will try and get her again because I just love Yuki's character. She was just so cute and bubbly, but she was also very powerful and strong, and I just love that. And how she ended up helping like Asuna was something I really loved. So I love the Mother Rosario arc, and I love Yuki. Next character I want to talk about is Android 18 from Dragon Ball Z, one of the most powerful fighters in Dragon Ball Z and Super. She defeated Vegeta and even broke his arms when he was in his Super Saiyan state, even defeated Trunks when he was in his Super Saiyan state. Android 18, which is very powerful. She's only really girl that we see fighting in Dragon Ball Z, because for so long it was all the guys, Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, and it was just them. And then later on, you get I mean, because Chi Chi kind of doesn't really fight as much like she used to, and with the power set, she kind of stepped back and ended up doing the mom role. Almost more of the smarts and the brains of the operation, so she wasn't really fighting on the front lines like that. So it was pretty interesting that we did have a female who was able to hold her own against all the Z fighters, and then becoming a Z fighter herself. And even after becoming a mother, is still able to hold her own with the other Z fighters and whatnot. So I love Android 18. Anyone who talks about who's your favorite from Dragon Ball Z, she is definitely up there with like Bulma and whatnot. Next person I want to talk about is C2 from Code Geass. Her nickname, and people mostly call her, was the Immortal Witch because of the her seal. She cannot die regardless of what injury or whatever befalls her. Was the leader of the Geass Order at one point. In the very beginning, and how the story kind of takes the turn that it did, end up giving Lelouch the Geass, or his Geass, I should say. She is very strong in her own right because she can pilot one of the mechs, which is called a Nightmare. She has saved Lelouch at a number of times where he probably wouldn't have made it out alive if she hadn't, stepped in and whatnot. And is very skilled in fighting on her own. So, like, she's not a slouch in that right as well. She's very strong and powerful and can fight on her own as well. Okay, so next piece of news. I mean, not net news. What am I talking about? Next person. Olivia Miriam Armstrong from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. She is the heir to the Armstrong family, commanding officer of Fort Briggs, the oldest sister of the state alchemist Louise Armstrong. Fought against a homunculus on her own, but then at one point with her brother, Sloth. She's even taken care and even killed other officers who are corrupted and trying to get her to basically turn on the dark side of the government. She stays strong and righteous in whatever she does. And it's funny because in that very nature, she is the only person that Edward doesn't, get angry at whenever they call him short. Like she calls him short stacks and whatnot, and he can't even like fight back and refute it. He knows if he does, she will kill him or at least attempt to kill him, which is very, very funny. So the fact that she scares him that much that no matter what she says, he can't fight back, and it's very hilarious. She's also the only female member in the Central High Command, as well as the highest ranking woman in the series. And the sword that she wields is actually a sword that was passed down her family for generations. So the fact that she's very skilled with it just shows a lot of her, her fighting abilities and whatnot. And I really loved her. There's so many characters and Full Metal Alchemists that you got their teacher. I forget her name at the moment. Um, there's Winry. There's Hawkeye. There's so many strong females in that. But when most people think of like badass females, like most people think of Olivier. So she's definitely like my top favorite there. Next person is Yoruichi Shihoen from Bleach, nicknamed Goddess of Flash. She was the former captain of the second division of the Gotei 13, as well as the former commander of the Omi Mishikito, which is basically kind of like an secret ops of the Soul Society. Basically trains like the secret ops of them basically. She's trained Ichigo and taught him how to obtain his Bankai in 3 days. She is from one of the four main families of the Soul Society, making her the 22nd head of the Shishoin clan. Even trained Renji in how to attain his Bankai, and defeated numerous of the quote unquote kind of like squad or Black Ops members with her speed. She is very strong and powerful. I love Yoruichi. Anyone who watches Bleach, because there's so many great people in that. Females in that. People in general, but females. I was really saying, but most people when they think of badass females from Bleach, most of them think of like Rukia and then like Yoruichi, and especially Yoruichi. Yoruichi is just she's amazing. Next person is Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan. Entered the military and was considered the best soldier among the 104th Training Corps or whatever. She has taken on many Titans, including the female Titan and the armor Titan. Some people say she's even on the same level as Levi, which honestly, that there's just something going on with that whole Ackerman line because they're just both badasses in their right. And even as a kid, was so powerful and fearful that whenever kids were picking on, Eren or Armin, if they saw her coming, oh, they was out of there. They didn't play any games with that. So they saw Mikasa coming, they was out. They didn't care. They was like, I'm not messing with this girl. She'll kill me in my sleep, which is totally understandable because she is very, very strong. Next person is Merlin from the Seven Deadly Sins. She is the Boar sin of gluttony, the greatest mage in Britannia. Her sacred treasure, which is the orb, helps her, with her spells and whatnot, especially with her infinity spell, where like she can cast any spell, no matter how, if it is, as long as she does it once, that's it, and she could keep it going for as long as she needs to. Is the daughter of Belialoween, which name itself strikes fear and demons of the demon race, even including the Ten Commandments. Oh my god, that moment in the second season where she said, oh, she is the daughter of Belialoween, and the two commandments, one that was controlling Dreyfus and the other one totally flipped their lid. And then when she said her name, which we couldn't even pronounce it, they were like, "Oh no, we was out of here. We're not messing with her." And it's just so cool. And another thing I really loved about her is the fact that she has the strongest Sin Escanor in love with her and trying to win her heart, just to show just how amazing she is. That even the strongest, especially the strongest human in the world, is trying everything in his power to win her heart. It's so cool. I love Merlin. She is just amazing. Next person is Akame from Akame ga Kill, also known as Akame of the Demon Sword Muramasa. She is one of the most, she is and was the most, well, she was the most powerful assassin on the Empire, and then in becoming the assassin for Night Raid and the revolution, uses her Tenku or Imperial Arms Muramasa, which is a one-hit kill because it releases a deadly poison in one cut, no matter how small the cut. And even though she has such a powerful weapon on her side, she doesn't rely on that to, always defeat her enemies. So she thinks of other ways to, counteract other people who maybe avoids her one hit so that she can end up getting that hit in. Has been trained to be an assassin since she was a child and has fought against the Empire's strongest and cruelest commander, Esdeath, and did win in the end. So that just shows how skilled Akame was in and is. Which is funny because even though the show is named after her, the show basically kind of follows Tatsumi, but there is other media of Akame ga Kill where she is the main focus. There's one, I forgot what it's called, Akame ga Kill Kri or something, which kind of follows her life when she was an assassin for the Empire. And then there is another one where she kind of is like a side character for her journey and what happens after the manga. So she, even now, she's still kicking butt even after what even though she doesn't have her Imperial Arms anymore, she still is very strong and still very feared. So I love Akame. Next person, and someone I very, very, very loved from Black Clover, I'm going to be talking about Noelle Silva, a noblewoman and the second daughter of the House of Silva, which is one of the royal families in the Clover Kingdom. Her nickname plus the alias that the people under the sea kind of gave her, which is Sea Goddess. I just love her because even though she was rejected by her family because she wasn't able to control her magic, she didn't let that stop her, and she tried every time. She tried like for so many years to improve herself and prove that they were wrong, and always like trained and whatnot. Which is funny because even her cousin Mimosa said that she really admired how strong Noelle was and kept trying to better herself, because she said if she was born in that situation, she probably would have just given up, but not Noelle. She kept trying and eventually met people like Asta and the Black Bulls that help her, involve in like increase her abilities and whatnot, and helped her, grow more as a mage, and help her, get to the point where she is. And it's funny also that Konoha, the girl that they kind of meet who was under the sea, points out the reason why Noelle kind of lacks her control is because she doesn't have any desire to really hurt people. So it just shows that she is very kind-hearted and whatnot, which is rare in nobility in that series, because lots of the nobility, if you're a noble, they think you're better. They think they're better than everyone, and they look down on all the quote unquote the commoners. And but she's not like that. I mean, yeah, she points out, oh, I'm royalty, so it doesn't matter. But she never, takes it to the extent like her brothers and sisters and maybe even other nobles. She's very humble, and I mean, at the end, she does end up falling for Asta, who quote unquote is a commoner. So it just shows that she does have a big heart, and she isn't like most nobles. And then her two attacks or powerful spells are her Sea Dragon War and her Valkyrie Dress, are just very powerful and strong. I love them. I love Noelle. I love her character and all the development she goes through, and I just can't wait to continue on with the Black Clover series and seeing how she evolves even more in the series. I even before with all this COVID thing and whatnot happening, I was gonna dress up as her because I just really love Noelle. Like for a series that's still relatively new. I mean, just like 100 something episodes now, but even in the beginning, I really loved Noelle, and I loved how she kept trying to prove that she wasn't like her family and changing how she was. All right, I think this is the last person before my audible mentions. Last person I want to talk about is Kyoko Kirigiri from the Danganronpa series. She is the ultimate detective or the super high school level detective, depending on if you've seen the anime or if you played the light novel. But she's the ultimate detective. Becomes the Future Foundation Branch Office 14 director in the future arc of the anime. She comes from a long line of detectives. Her family is pretty famous, kind of famous, not famous for being detectives, but like that's something she grew up around this. She plays a major role in solving the mysteries in the class trials in the first game, and she always thinks with a clear head and sees the evidence and makes rational uh conclusions instead of jumping to oh, so this person must have done it without any evidence and whatnot. Since she was a child, she has been trained to be a detective by her grandfather and register as an official detective at the age of 13, which is pretty amazing. Like, you're 13 years old and you have the credentials and the authorization to be a detective. That just shows her skills. I love Kyoko. She's another person I definitely wanted to dress up as one of these years when I go to like a convention or something because I really love her. Um, and yeah, I mean, I always loved like detective shows and whatnot. So the fact that she was the ultimate detective just drew me in like right away. So next is just some more honorable mentions that I wasn't able to put in my in the like go through. I mean, these aren't even all of them, but these are just some of the people I want to like shout out to you. So first one is Yona from Yona the Dawn, Wendy from Fairy Tail, Chiaki from Danganronpa, Levy from Black Lagoon, Stella Vermilion from Chivalry of a Failed Knight, Diane from the Seven Deadly Sins. I kind of cheated on this one. I put all the girls from Yashahime, Toa, Setsuna, and Motoha. I just love all the girls in that series. I mean, it's still a very new series. I think they're only like episode 10, I believe. But I love each girl for their own like individuality and whatnot, and I really love it. Another one I kind of cheated on is Sailor Moon. I put all the Sailor Scouts because I never, even growing up, I never really had like an OG favorite. I loved all the Sailor Scouts for different reasons. So um, next, Kagome and Sango from Inuyasha, Shirayuki from Snow White with Red Hair, Nezuko from Demon Slayer, Toru Honda from Fruits Basket, Saber from Fate Stay Night or Fate Zero, depending on which one you've seen. Um, Miyu Furinji from current Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple, and Ron / Rachel from Detective Conan / Case Closed. Uh, that's really it. I mean, that's all the ones that I put, but there's still so many characters that I wanted to put, and so many characters that I didn't even have a time to put. And like I said, there's so many new animes coming out that there's so many female characters in it that you just end up getting drawn to, and it's very very cool. So that's really it for today, you guys. Let me know, like, who's your favorite female character in anime? Like, who's your favorite? Which one do you kind of resonate with the most? And just why do you like them? Like, what draws them to you and making them a character that you really enjoy watching and continue to watch? All right, so that is it, you guys. Thank you again for listening. But for the next episode, we're gonna be talking about basically other departments in which females help with the industry, kind of like directors, manga writers, songwriters, or vocalists and whatnot. So that's what we're gonna be talking about next week. Thank you all again for listening, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.